Every time an influencer says, "I'd never lie to you," the internet has eventually proven them otherwise. And lately, I feel like it is happening more than it has ever happened before. Hello, guys, welcome back to my channel. I am so sorry that I have been away for so long. I have just had no time to film, nothing. I've been trying to keep up with my TikTok and my YouTube shorts so that you guys can kind of still see me around. But these long form videos, they're just harder to film. And I mean, I've already filmed like this same video, half of it once, and then my daughter walked in and just started talking to me, and it just makes it really difficult. So here we are, we're filming this video and it's getting done today. So today we are talking about the different ways that influencers have gotten caught lying and why audiences are officially over it. I feel like the hype and like all the magic of influencers has died down recently. People are starting to realize that influencers are just regular people. They're just regular people posting about their lives and talking about the things they enjoy. And I've actually noticed that more big influencers are actually more regular people nowadays. They're not people with loads of money. They're not people showing off flashy lifestyles. They're people who are just very genuine and are very much like your regular everyday person. So let's get into the mess of it all. I want to start by being really clear that this video isn't about hating or bullying anybody. I myself, as I said, am a content creator, and I feel like it is very easy to fall into the traps of trying to make your content look perfect, trying to do all of these things. And although I do blame these people for the mistakes they've made, I can also see how they would make those mistakes. Everything I'm talking about today has already been publicly reported on and ruled on or widely discussed online. So this is not new information. It's just things that I have found whilst doing my research. What interests me the most about it isn't the people themselves. It is more the pattern, because I feel like we're seeing a pattern more recently of people being more dishonest in their content. Once you notice these kinds of patterns, you start to see them everywhere online. And I definitely feel like I have found that, especially being in the content creation sphere myself, I am noticing these things happening way more often than I thought that they did before I started making videos myself. And honestly, this is exactly why people say that they don't trust influencers anymore. I mean, a few years ago, I used to buy everything Zoella said to buy. Everything. Zoella was a queen. She was my idol. When she came out with her stuff, I can't remember if it was Superdrug or Boots, but she came out with her collection, and you best believe I had all of that. I had all of that stuff. I made my mum buy it for me. And I just feel like nowadays people don't trust as blindly, which is a combination of a good thing and a bad thing, because it does mean that when you're being genuine about a product, you are going to get people skeptical of whether you are being honest or not. And these are some of the reasons why. We're going to start with one of the biggest ones, which is pretending that content isn't sponsored when it actually is. My words are tripping over themselves today. A lot of people assume that this is just internet speculation, but honestly, this has gone so far in the UK that the Advertising Standard Authority has gotten involved a few times. Influencers like Chloe Ferry, Chloe Khan, Jodie Marsh, and Lucy Mecklenburg were publicly named by the ASA for not clearly labelling their paid promotions. And that is huge, because regulators don't really get involved unless there is a real continuous issue going on. What annoys people isn't that we are promoting things, isn't that influencers are taking ads, because at the end of the day, for most of these people, it is their job, and taking ads is what keeps us afloat. The problem is when they lie about them. It is just the pretending of it all. When you say, "I bought this myself," or "this isn't sponsored," it builds trust with the people, because they just believe that you're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. You're talking about a product you love just because you love it. And obviously, when a viewer then later finds out that it was paid for, they feel manipulated and lied to, and as though you have been truly dishonest. So then, if you really do genuinely love the product, that is completely lost on everyone, because you've lied. It makes people question everything else that you've ever recommended, and that in itself can be incredibly damaging to the reputation of someone who works in social media. I have seen it happen recently to so many content creators where they are just gone. And I feel like the reason influencers keep getting caught now is because people and viewers are smarter. They know more than people give them credit for. They understand how things work more. People are checking PR lists, they're screenshotting old captions, and they are comparing posts. And once the internet decides that something just isn't adding up, it's pretty much over for you. This one is another one that really affects people's self-esteem, especially within beauty. Now, I feel like I can talk about this because I grew up on beauty content. I watched a lot of beauty influencers, and back then filters weren't really a thing. Using filters to exaggerate results or saying there's no filter when there clearly is one is a massive problem in the industry because you are getting young girls, young boys who are seeing these things and maybe not realizing their filters. I know that on TikTok now it kind of discloses it for you, but that's only if you use the filter within the TikTok app. If you aren't using it within the TikTok app, then it's not going to disclose it. And they're seeing these filters and thinking that this is how they're supposed to look. This is the beauty standard, when really it's incredibly unrealistic. A lot of people do not look the way that they portray online. And again, this wasn't just viewers complaining. Influencers like Ellie Norris and Cynthia Bayliss Zulo, I hope I said that right, actually had their ads removed after rulings said that beauty filters had made the products look more effective than they were, which shows that it isn't just about self-esteem, it's also about how a product works. That means the content was officially labelled as misleading for consumers, which basically means that they believed that they had altered it so much that when the product was received by the consumer, it was not going to be or work the same way that they were saying it would. And imagine being someone watching that video, buying the product, and then just wondering why it doesn't work for you the way it worked for them. That's another thing that can cause major self-esteem issues. I've had it before myself, where I've picked up a product, I've tried it out, and I've just thought, this does not look how it looked on there. And sometimes I think it's because of me. And I feel like a lot of people fall into that trap. You're not failing. The content just wasn't real. And this is why people are so sensitive about filters, and it's such a massive deal. A lot of people will say, oh, is it really that big of a deal? Is it really such like a big deal if someone uses filters? No. If it's just a regular post and that's how you feel comfortable, use your filters away. But if you're promoting a product or you are a inspiration, especially for young people, filters can be incredibly damaging to the beauty standard. If the product works, it shouldn't need digital smoothing anyway. And once people start spotting the filter glitches, the different skin textures in lives, or sudden comment restrictions, that's when all the truth disappears. Beauty is supposed to inspire people and not make them feel inadequate. This next one I found really fascinating, and it's actually the most fascinating to me because I didn't realize that this was even a thing until I started researching for this video. I did so much research into this because obviously I know that people lie online. I mean, everybody has lied online at some point in their life, but I did not realize it was to this extent. And this is people exaggerating or faking their lifestyles. People don't actually hate luxury content, or as far as I know, they don't hate luxury content. They just hate being misled and being lied to. And I feel like that is one of the things that combines all of these issues together, is the lies and being misled and being dishonest. A really well-known example of this exact issue is a creator, Giovanna Mendoza. She built a huge platform promoting a vegan lifestyle and her wellness programs, and then she was publicly exposed for eating fish. It wasn't just embarrassing for her, it completely destroyed her trust, because for those of you who don't know, if you eat fish, you are not vegan, you are a pescatarian. Vegan is when you do not eat any animal products at all, so eating fish makes her a pescatarian. And she was promoting, different programs for people, so obviously they felt betrayed and lied to. People weren't just watching her, they were buying these programs, changing their whole diets and their whole lives, and taking her advice really, really seriously for themselves. Another example that went viral online was a creator called Lisa Lee. Her content showed a very curated luxury lifestyle, and footage was then released by her landlord, which showed a completely different reality. The contrast shocked people, and it made viewers start asking a bigger question. How much of influencer life is real and how much is just performative? Luxury isn't the issue, and curation isn't the issue. The issue is presenting something as an everyday reality when it very clearly isn't. And unfortunately, this is happening a lot online. I feel like there's a lot of pressure for people recently, specifically, to show that they are really well off or they're doing better than they are. And the unfortunate reality is that when we lie about things like this, it makes other people feel inadequate. What's interesting is that these lies almost always come out in some kind of way. Someone will notice the inconsistency, and then someone else will add a screenshot, and then suddenly there's a timeline of all the issues, and this is when creators start losing their following. The whole idea of building a following online is building trust. Once that all starts, there is no stopping it. The internet is basically one giant group chat with a memory, and it snowballs so fast. And before you know it, everybody knows that you have lied. These three things specifically, I think, are huge issues. I honestly think it all boils down to lying and being dishonest with your community. Sometimes a community can feel like a group of best friends. And obviously, you guys know, unfortunately, we don't know each other in real life. And we are not best friends with the creators that we like to watch online. However, we do have some level of trust with them about how they respond to us and how they, portray things to us. And this is my opinion. Influencers don't need to be perfect and they don't need to be relatable 24/7. They just need to be honest. People are actually incredibly forgiving and they hate feeling lied to. And once the audience decides they don't trust you, no amount of apology is going to fix that issue. So, I want to know what you guys think. Do you think that influencers owe full transparency when it comes to ads, filters, and their lifestyle? Or is this just a reality of online fame? I honestly want to hear what you guys believe, because as someone who is in the sphere myself, I see so many different opinions on these kinds of things, especially coming from content creators who are trying to make it big, like myself. I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope you like this base. I'm going to add a little bit. I didn't want to do a whole makeup look today. I just wanted to get my base done so that you guys could focus mainly on the content that I'm talking about, because I think it's super important. But I do want your opinions on the base. I think it came out really cute. I'm really pleased. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on this topic. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you.